What's up guys, welcome to the Batman 2021 Suits DIY. In this episode we're gonna focus mainly on the rest of the torso and the neck so we can later into the next episode head into the mask. So without further ado, let's begin. So first of all, what I did was I grabbed some saran wrap so I could have a mold of the size of my head, and with the use of some tape I was able to make this mold. Once I had the whole shape of my head ready, and with the help of a Sharpie, I drew the parts of the whole mask, which I saw from this image. So for the front part of the mask, I used a carnival mask so I could have an easier template to make the face with. So what I did was I sketched the shape of the mask. And what I did next was I cut the remaining pieces and it turned out something like this. The next thing I did was I modified the shape of the eyes and I cut out the shape that I drew. After doing that, I cut 3 pieces of cardboard together to make the nose, and after that I made some eyebrows to give a little bit of more volume to the mask. By the way, I also added some support on the sides and on top of the mold so it could stick together without falling apart. And afterwards, what I did was I pasted the mask and the mold together and I cut the back in half so it was easier for me to modify the mask. And then I cut off the bottom part of the mask and it looked something like this. So next I grabbed a piece of fabric that I'm gonna use to cover the whole mask. I really like this fabric because it looks like leather, but it's not really leather, but still gives it a very realistic look and I really like it. So I first started covering the nose, and then I went ahead and pasted the pieces of the forehead and the top of the head. For the Batman ears or spikes or horns or however you want to call them, I cut out 2 pieces with this shape. And then I covered them with several layers of tape so that it had a little bit more volume. And then I went ahead and pasted them into the mask, and this is how they turned out. And later into the video I started progressing into pasting more pieces of the fabric into the mask, like so. So this is how the mask looks once the front part is already fully covered with the fabric. Now the next thing I did was I added 2 pieces of cardboard on the sides. I pasted them, and I also added this piece of cardboard to the back and I pasted it like this. Once I had most of the mask done, it was time to do the bottom part of the cowl. I drew and cut out this piece of fabric. I did that twice, and then I sewed both pieces from the middle, and then I cut the parts from the front and the back to paste them individually, and it turned out something like this. I also added some velcro to the front parts so it would close like this. And I was gonna add another piece of fabric to cover that missing part and to cover the rest of the back of the mask and the ears. Right now this is what we have. And after I pasted this part, This is how the mask looks. I still need to cover the ears with the fabric, but regardless of the ears, this is the mask fully done. So yeah, Batman in this cosplay has 2 belts and a bag. Now for this, I found this bag that looks perfectly, and I also used 2 belts like this. Now for the cape, I laid out the same piece of fabric that I used for the mask, and I cut half a circle on one of the sides of the fabric like this, and I cut it out the shoulder pieces from the previous torso and used it as support for the cape. I folded the cape and pasted it like this so it would give it a cool effect, and that's how I pasted it. This was all for today's episode. I hope you guys liked it. In the next episode we're gonna paint everything, but everything is mostly done. The only thing I don't have are the boots, so I'm not gonna do that, but you can do them if you have, or normal shoes will do. But yeah, this was everything for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and always remember, don't stop creating.